Don't break someone's heart, they have only one. Break their bones, they have 206 of them. So hello, and welcome back to all my future doctors and doctornies. Today I am here to teach you about your skeletal system. You will be able to learn the major components of your skeletal system, its function, and also the specific bones and their roles in your body. First of all, let me tell you a fact. Did you know babies are born with about 300 bones, but adults have only 206, as some of them are fused together? Isn't it amazing? Yes. Now let's move forward. The skeletal system. It serves as a framework for our body. It comprises bones and connective tissues, including cartilage, tendons, and ligaments. Bones are living tissues with blood supply. They constantly change and remodel as humans grow. Now, let's know the functions of skeleton. So the very first function is support. It gives shape and support to our body. For example, our spine that helps us to maintain an upright position. In the given diagram, the spine of an average adult is shown, which is made up of 26 bones. The detail of this will be learned individually. Now the second function is protection. Bones protect our internal organs. For example, the skull that protects our brain, while the ribcage safeguards the heart and lungs. Now the third function is movement. Bones team up with joints and muscles to allow movement. As muscles contract, they pull on the bones, enabling people to walk, run, jump, and engage in various activities. For example, bones in the elbows and knees are joined by flexible joints. These joints allow to glide, swing, or rotate. The last function of skeleton is producing blood cells. Red and white blood cells are produced in the bone marrow. Bone marrow is a soft, spongy material in the hollow center of a person's bones. For example, in adults, most blood cells are produced in the spine, hips, ribs, and breastbone, while in children's, blood cells production takes place in the long bones like the femur. Now let me ask you a question. Did you know that bones also serve as storehouses for two minerals, calcium and phosphorus? These minerals are essential for nerves and cells to function properly. Let's categorize your skeletal system. So it is basically divided into two categories. Axial skeleton, which contains 80 bones, and appendicular skeleton, which contains 126 bones. Axial skeleton is divided into three parts. First, the head, which contains 29 bones. Second, ribs and sternum, in which ribs contains 24 and sternum contain 1 bone, while the third vertebral column contains 26 bones in total. Again, head is divided into three parts. Skull, having 22 bones, divided into cranium and facial muscles. Next, hyoid, having 1 bone, and ear ossicles having 3 bones in each ear. Appendicular skeleton is also divided into 2 parts. Girdle bone having 6 bones, 4 in pectoral girdle and 2 in pelvic girdle, while limb bones having 120 bones, 60 in forelimb and 60 in hind limb. Let's study more about head part of axial skeleton. Cranium, which is formed by cranial bones, also known as brain box that protects our brain. It contains 1 frontal bone at the front of skull, 1 occipital at back base of skull, 1 sphenoid at central skull base, and 1 ethmoid bone at roof of nasal cavity between 2 orbits, while 2 parietal bone at top sides of skull, and 2 temporal bone at side base of skull. Now it's time to focus on your facial bones, which consists 14 bones, in which paired bones included maxilla forms upper jaw, zygomatic forms the cheekbones, nasal forms bridge of nose, lacrimal forms medial wall of orbit, and it is also a smallest facial bone. Palatine forms the hard palate, and inferior nasal chonky increases surface area for air filtration. Unpaired bones include vomer forms lower part of nasal septum, and mandible forms lower jaw bone, and it is movable. Head also included hyoid and ear ossicles. Hyoid is a single U-shaped bone, present below buccal cavity, and does not connect with any other bone. Ear ossicles, present 3 in each ear. Its function is amplification of sound vibration by 10 times. The 3 ear ossicles are stapes, a smallest stirrup-shaped bone. Incus, anvil-shaped and malleus. Hammer-shaped. What about your ribs and sternum? Ribs are 12 pairs of flat bones. That attaches dorsally to thoracic vertebrae and ventrally to sternum. And sternum is also a single flat bone, located ventrally to mid-thorax and attached to collar bones and ribs. Well, the last part of axial skeleton is vertebral column. It includes vertebrae that makes the column and protects the spinal cord. Between 2 vertebrae, a cartilaginous joint named intervertebral disc is present. There are 26 vertebral columns, 7 in neck region known as cervical, 12 in thorax region known as thoracic, 3 in abdomen region known as lumbar, 5 in pelvic region known as sacral that later fused and form only 1 in 4 coccygeal that also fused at base of sacral. Well, that's over. Now let's move on to the appendicular skeleton and study its girdle bones. So let's start with the pectoral girdle. Each pectoral girdle is separated and made up of 2 bones, scapula and clavicle. Scapula is a triangular flat bone, large in size, and dorsally placed between 2nd and 7th thoracic rib, while clavicle is a collar bone, also called beauty bone, that attaches to acromion, which is also a bone at top of shoulder, on one side, and sternum on other side. This diagram showing your scapula and clavicle with acromion at top. Now it's time to take a look at pelvic girdle. Each half of pelvic girdle consists of 1 coxal bone that meets ventrally with the help of pubic symphysis at both sides. Coxal bone is formed by the fusion of ilium, ischium and pubis, lium dorsally attached to sacrum. Appendicular skeleton also includes limb bones. Firstly, forelimb has 30 bones, 1 humerus, 1 radius and 1 ulna, 8 carpal, 5 metacarpal, and 14 phalanges. Hindlimb also has 30 bones, in which femur is longest bone. 1 tibia, 1 fibula, 7 tarsal, 5 metatarsal, 14 phalanges, and 1 knee bone. Patella. Now can you try to point out which bones the listed names refer to? So this is your answer. Now tell me name of these bones below. What types of bones are they? Have you done? This is your answer. So this was all for today. I hope you must have enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you found the video even a little helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your patience.